Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum. So today I will do a video from my task two, which is I was assigned during the Carnival Zoom Science 2018 last Wednesday. So my name is Nur Amira Hanani binti Muhammad Razi and my metric number is 190466. So I was assigned to do task two, which is today I observe, I relate, and I share. That was assigned by Dr. Muhammad Nur Hisham bin Muhammad Nazir. So this is the situation at the Carnival Jom Science 2018 at Panggung Percubaan IPM. So at there, I found a heart model at the biology section, which is they explain about the flow of the heart at there. Since I was assigned to select one living object, and I need to discuss about it, so I select a human being, which is my friends Nurliana binti Muhammad Amin, and I will discuss for my task two, which is about circulatory and respiratory systems. So for circulatory systems, this is an example of human circulatory system and whale circulatory system, which is the red one. The red one, it was our blood vessel. And let's start. For a circulatory system, the structures consist of heart, blood vessel, and also blood. And it functions to bring oxygen, nutrients, and hormone to the cells, and it also functions to fight infection. Where it also very important to regulate our body temperatures. And for the heart, it was made up of cardiac muscles. It beats on average of 65 to 85 beats per minute for human, and it also pump to circulate body throughout the body. Circulate the blood throughout the body. I'm sorry. Okay. Next for the blood vessel, it carry out blood to the cell, and it was lined with smooth muscle tissue, and it has three types, which is arteries, capillaries, and vein. And for arteries, you need to keep it in your mind, which is carries the blood away, arteries, and then it carries the oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body. And for the capillaries, it was branched off from the of the arteries, and it was the smallest blood vessel, which is some have diameters as small as one red blood cell, which is very, very small. And it also take blood to the cell, which is contra with the arteries. And for the vein, it takes the oxygenated blood from the capillaries back to the heart. Okay, this is the structures that you can find under the microscope, which is artery and vein. So for vein, it have valve to prevent the backflow because it doesn't receive pressure from heart, and it was helped by the muscle which pump blood back to the heart through the vein. And this is the structures of the vein at the leg, which is it flow by contracting skeletal muscle of the leg, and it will have the blood flow to the heart, which is from down to up. It move upwards. And for the blood, there are three types, three different kinds, which is plasma, white blood cells, and platelets, and also red blood cells. And human body has 4 till 6 liters of blood, and the blood consists of 55% of blood, which is plasma, and 45% of blood is cells. And there are three kinds of blood cell, which is red blood cells, white blood cells, and also platelets. Red blood cell will have in transporting oxygen, which is contain hemoglobin, and hemoglobin give the blood colors red colors. And for the white blood cells, it also known as leukocytes, it will attack foreign substance or organism to fight infection or disease in our body. And for platelets, it will stick to the broken blood vessel, which is function to stop the bleeding when you are cut or injured. So this is the structures of our blood vessel, which is consists of vessel wall, which is tunica adventitia, tunica media, and tunica intima, layered by layer, and it also consists of white blood cell, red blood cell, and also platelet. So for the plasma, it consists of 90% of water and 10% of other materials, which is very important to our body, which is dissolved gas, salt, nutrients, enzyme, hormones, and waste products. So the human heart has 4 chambers, which is left and right ventricle and left and right atrium. The left side will pump oxygenated blood to the body, and for the right side, it will pump the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. For the deoxygenated blood, it consists of carbon dioxide. And this is the structures of our 4 chambers of human heart, which is right atrium, left ventricle, and this is my mistakes. Mistakes in labeling, which is it is actually a right ventricle. I'm sorry. So this is detailed structures of a human heart, and I will explain more on disorders that we have in circulatory system, which is the first is coronary artery disease. It cause plaque. The plaque in the blood vessel will build up to and block the arteries, which is reducing, or even it will stop the blood flow in our arteries, and it can break off, which is once it break off, it will cause a heart attack or stroke. The yellow or orange one is the structures of plaque. It will block the blood flow in our arteries. And this is the example of human coronary artery disease, which it causes damaged arteries which are invaded by bad cholesterol. The white blood cell will try to digest the cholesterol, but ultimately a jumble of cholesterol and cells is accumulated at there, and it can be caused by a smoking habits, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes. So next, I will explain about high blood pressure, which is very common in our society, which is also known as hypertension. Why it is dangerous? Because it has the excessive pressure, which can cause the arteries to be thickened, and the blood vessel will be weakened and ruptures, and this can lead to heart failure, stroke, kidney failure, loss of sight when the vessel in the eyes bursts. And it can be caused by genetics, overweight, limited physical activities, smoking, alcohol consumption, and certain medication. So next, for the respiratory system, I will explain more on the function, which is the function of respiratory system. It brings the oxygen into the body, and it will remove the carbon dioxide and water vapor. So since the circulatory system and respiratory system are related, I will explain both on it. And the structures, next I will explain on the structures of the respiratory system, which is it consists of nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and also lungs. So firstly, the nose. In our nose, it consists of cilia, which is it will function to filter out the dirt, and it will moisten and warm the air once you breathe, and that's the job of the nose. It will filters out any kind of foreign substance that enters your nose. And for the next, for the pharynx, it part of our both respiratory and digestive system, because it also aids in swallowing, and the pharynx is known as houses of tonsils, and this is the structures of our pharynx, which is labeled here. It was located besides the larynx. And under pharynx, there is esophagus, which is included in the digestive systems. Okay, next for the larynx, it functions to generate sound, which is our vocal cord, and it contains of vocal cord, which is help us to produce sounds. And there is a vocal cord video, but I can show it. I can't show it because there's lack of time. And this is the structures of larynx, which is closed and open. So next for the trachea, this is the structures of the trachea located in between the right lung and left lung. So next for the bronchi, this is the structures of bronchus and bronchioles. It located in our lungs. So this is the structures of inside the lungs. And for the respiratory system, it function in inhalation, which rib muscles and diaphragm will contract and rib cage will expand. Lung volume will increase and air pressure in lung will decrease. The air will flow into the lungs. And this is for the exhalation, which the rib muscle and diaphragm will relax. The rib cage will become slower. The air pressure in lung will increases and the air flow out of the lungs. And for the diaphragm, it was a dome-shaped muscle. It located at the base of rib cage, which is here. Our rib cage is here and they're inside there. So I will explain about the alveoli, which is the smallest part of the lung. Alveoli is a air sac where the gas is exchanged. It has a kind of tennis court space area, which is for the easiest gases exchange in there. And for the oxygen and carbon dioxide, they are exchanged in the lung through diffusion process. The process by which the material will move from an area of high concentration to the low concentration area. And if a person who have asthma, they will have this kind of structures in their respiratory system. This. So other than that, the disorder in respiratory system also can consist of lung cancer, which is very common in smokers. So don't smoke. And this is the difference between the smokers and non-smokers. This is the structures of their lungs. Okay, I will show you a video that I recorded during my assignment at the Carnival Geom Science that they explain about the how you can the experiment on how you can examine how many air that can enter your lungs. So enjoy the video.
Iaitu alat yang digunakan untuk mengukur berapa banyak isi padu udara yang boleh masuk ke dalam paru-paru kita sekali kita tarik nafas. Tapi ini cuma aplikasi daripada mesin yang sebenar. Tak dekat motor. Masukkan fail tu dekat. Sampel diminta untuk tarik nafas dalam-dalam dan hembuskan secara perlahan dan sehingga habis nafas. Tarik. Okay, sekarang kira berapa garisan second. Dari atas. Satu ni ke satu ni? Okay, kalau mengikut cara kita ada sampai 16. So pada 16 maksudnya ada 4.25 liter udara yang boleh masuk ke dalam paru-paru sekali sedenak nafas.